Hello YouTube world, welcome back to the workshop. Some time ago a friend of mine, he came round, he dropped some wood round. He told me that it was you. I did look at the bark and I was a little bit sceptical about it, but it was a lovely, really deep red, almost scarlety brown colour, the bark where he cut it. It did look really nice. So I put it in the wood store, left it in there a while, and I've just got a piece out. I put a chainsaw through there and it's very, very pale inside, very white, but after it's left a little while it does go this lovely red colour, so I'm guessing it's one of the cedars. It's not a yew. But anyway, I thought I'd turn the piece up, see what it looked like. So that is the wood there, piece he cut. I cut the piece off the end, and you can see a massive great split running down through there, right the way down through there. I was going to turn the bowl and use that piece there. Don't think I'm going to be able to because of that massive great split running through there. So I think what I might do is just put some wedges in there and see if I can cut that in half and use that bottom half for the bowl and use that top half just to make a nice lid for it. And I'll just put the split wedge down through there. I barely touched it and it just fell apart pretty much. I don't know whether it was damaged, that was the original damage, or whether that's just a very weak wood. Right, what I'm going to clean that up a little bit. I'll put my plane on there, put a faceplate on there and get it mounted in the lathe. So I'll put the faceplate on the other side so it's held nice and securely in the chuck. I've brought my centre up just as an added bit of insurance, and I'm starting this on the lowest speed. Well, I very quickly whip through this bit. I never quite get so much enjoyment cutting the outside of a bowl as I do hollowing a bowl. Don't know why that is. A lot more fun hollowing. So I'm just gradually taking all this away. You can see there's bits of bark inclusion in there. So that's all got to come down. So I'm just taking that down round on the outside. Still not got it into perfect round shape yet. So I'm still nibbling away at that. I did a little bit later on in this. I took quite a lot. By the time I'd got rid of there was a big bark inclusion. There was a big chunk come flying out at the top as well. There's quite a big split in it that came away. By the time I come through and took all of that away, I lost quite a bit of diameter on that bowl. And so I had to take away quite a bit of the depth as well to keep it all nicely in proportion, or else that would have looked quite odd. You see there where my fingers are, there was a chunk come flying out of there. So it's just a matter of me going through now. I've got my bowl gauge there, 1/2 inch bowl gauge, and just taking some cuts running through there. It's funny wood. I must take some into the woodturning club with me on Monday and just ask somebody down there. It's very knowledgeable people down there, especially when it comes to wood. They know exactly what this was. It's funny to turn because in some respects it was quite hard, and yet other times it would be quite soft, and just you get some really lovely shavings coming off of it. I'm pretty certain it is part of the pine family. So as you see, we're getting somewhere there now, getting it down. Ideally I would have liked to remove most, if not all of that sort of outer white sappy Cambrian layer. I would like to get rid of that. You see here I'm just shaping the bottom of the bowl now. I'm just going to turn a foot on there so that when I reverse the bowl in it I'll have something to grip in the chuck. It's a lovely clean up cut. That's come out quite well. I'm just not getting sand that down. You see that there's not too much glare on there, but that's turned up really well. I haven't put anything on there at all. Yeah, that's a lovely glass-like finish on there already. Right, so I'll get that off the faceplate, turn it round and hollow it now. I'm going to do, because I want to put a lid on there, I'm going to bring this edge over a little bit more. I was also very worried about that piece flying off. That's pretty good, quite like that shape. I'll just take a clean up cut, get a sharp chisel and take a clean up cut round there. That's very good. Alright, let's get and sand that down. I've sanded that down to 400. That's quite an exceptional finish on there. That really is beautiful. I haven't put anything on there, no sand and sealer, nothing. Now we'll get to hollowing. Some lovely shavings coming off of there. I do want quite an undercut in there, so while I've still got a lot of meat left in the bottom of the bowl, I'm going to come in there with my hollowing tool and take a lot of that away. Alright, I'm going to have to get back to you when I've finished that, because wherever I try to put the camera is where I want to be. That's unbelievably awkward getting around there. Still need quite a bit to come out. And I'm just going in with some cellulose sealer. Cellulose sand and sealer, I should say. Let's put a spin. And then a bit of wax. I was just having a poke through my wood store trying to find something that would be suitable as a lid for that, and I found this. Not sure what it was for, but when I picked it up, funny enough, that fits it exactly into the bowl, which was quite a coincidence. all fortuitous, save me turning anything. So all I've done is I've sanded this down now. I just put some sand and sealer and wax on the inside just to make that nice and shiny. And on the outside I'm going to use some Yorkshire grit, because that does make the wood a bit darker and it will give me more of a contrast. So that is a piece of ash, and that sand and sealer should bring that grain out there lovely. So this is the overview of the lid, and I'm just applying Yorkshire grit here. You see that does darken that wood down quite a bit. Yorkshire grit is a very fine abrasive paste as well as being a wax. It goes down to something like, I think it's 3000 grit, equivalent to sandpaper 3000 grit. You can also get ultra fine, Yorkshire grit ultra fine, and that's used for polishing resin. But at the moment I'm just putting this on, and what I'm doing is just, you put it on as you would a wax and just keep the cloth moving backwards and forwards, and you feel the drag from the grit. And what you do is you just keep applying clean bits of cloth until you feel that drag goes away and you're just left with a very highly polished surface. Now I do go into this and apply a coat of wax over the top of that. It's not entirely necessary, but it's what I've applied is a microcrystalline wax, which is very resistant to oily fingers and things like that. And as this is a lid and it will get handled quite a bit, I thought I'd just apply it. Bit of belt and braces. So I'm just going through now and just buffing the wax up just in the usual way. Just keep the cloth moving, get a bit of heat into it, get it spread nice and evenly, and just let the wax do its stuff. So that was the lid all finished, and what I need to do now is remove my chucking point from the top of the lid. And to do this, what I'm going to do is use the bowl as a jam chuck. So I've remounted the bowl, I've put the lid on there, brought up my centre, and that will just literally jam it in there so that I turn that chucking point away from the top of the lid and just make something neat and tidy. So the piece that I'm pointing to now, that's the piece that I want to take down. I want to fit a finial to the top of that lid, and so what I want is that raised piece to blend or flow from there straight into the finial. So what I want to do is just gradually take that away, just make something, just make it curve it up, sweep it up. So see, I'm just very gradually just taking that away. I'll also very shortly, I'll sand that down as well and apply the Yorkshire grit, so it all looks like it was done at exactly the same time. So I'm just working my way through the grits here up to probably about 320, 400 maybe. Just making sure that all flows in. Quite happy with that. Now I've applied the Yorkshire grit, and you can see now it's exactly the same colour as the rest of it. Just buffing this up to a nice shine now. Just so it all looks exactly the same. And what I need to do is turn a finial. So turn the finial now for my bolts on my pot, and the first thing I want to do is get it down to that diameter there, so that when that sweeps up, that's just a straight curve up. So I'll just swap out a big tool rest for a smaller one. The first thing I'll do is just take that down in size. This is going to be my finial where I'm pointing there. That will be the same diameter as the stand on the top of the lid. So on the left of the screen will be the top of the finial, and as always I'll start off with the classic teardrop shape, and I'm going to come in and just put a very small collar in behind that and just take that away, getting rid of some excess wood there. And then what I'm going to do is to put another bead on there, just losing some of that wood away at the back. And then that's where the bead's going to be. I suppose it's almost like a chess piece. It looks almost like a bishop. Very reminiscent of one. I don't want to make this too fancy because it will, I'm hoping it will be used at some point as a pot. And if you make these too thin, too fancy, there's always a danger that they're going to snap off. So I've left a bit of weight in it. Oh, that's a brilliant bit of camera work there, Stephen. I was just actually taking the wood away and just bringing that to a nice point. So that looks quite good. I'm quite pleased with that. And now I'll just sand that down. This is a piece of London plane. I believe it's normally called lace wood because it's such fine grain wood. It really is quite pretty wood. Hopefully the camera picked that out when I've put the sand and sealer on there. So the piece on the right, as I say, that will sit on top of the box, but I need to make a small, is it mortise or tenon? It's a small piece will fit in. So I'm going to use that Forstner bit, just drill a hole in the top of it and then fit that into it. It's lovely. I need a sand and sealer. That really fine grain running through there. Really fine grain. Lovely. Let's part that off now. Beautiful. Well, there we go, YouTubers. Another finished project. I quite like that. Come back a bit so I can get it all in. Yesterday I had a disastrous day. Just about everything I touched went wrong. But today I've had a really good day. That, whatever that wood is, I'm sure it's some sort of cedar. Lovely shiny finish. I don't think it's you. I'm sure it's not you. It looks very much, it's got very many of the characteristics of you, but I don't think it is. So that was very lucky enough to find a piece of ash that fitted absolutely perfect. And it's a lovely contrasting pot. Lovely grain running through there. There you go, YouTube world. That's all for this week. I had a good day today. Not such a good day yesterday. Although, it's like I always say, any day I'll get spent down here, it's got to be a good day, really. I'll see you all again next week. You look after yourself. Till then, you take care. Bye bye.